So I have with me now on the show, dope rapper out of Buffalo, New York. I have on the line Y.N.X 716. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me. How you doing?
That's absolutely no problem, man. That's absolutely no problem. So how you living, man? You busy at the moment or you chilling?
Yeah, we chilling, man. I'm out here in Florida. You know what I mean? Just resetting. You know what I mean? Recharging, and you know what I mean? Just trying to enjoy life. That's all.
All right, cool, man. Thank you for doing this on your vacation, man. That's
For
that's
sure.
good of you, man. Okay,
Definitely.
so I want to get straight into your music, and I want to
Hmm.
start with the last album that you released,
Yes,
"Messages
sir.
in Money,"
Yep.
that came out in April. Were you
Correct.
trying to convey anything in particular with that title, or was it just something that sounded cool at the time?
So the messages and money is pretty much. I was pretty much trying to drive in the point of the concept of money. You know what I mean? How money is a tool. You know what I mean? It's nothing really more, nothing less.
Right.
You know what I mean? I incorporated the phone call messaging, voicemails just to add that extra spark.
Yeah.
But the initial thought was it's just the messages that I found in money in general and currency. You know what I mean? So that's how I came up with the initial concept. And I had some songs that I put together and along with the skits, and that's really that's what drove the initial concept.
All right. Cool. 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 So, for me personally, my favorite track on the album is "08 Cannon." I love that track.
Yeah, yeah,
Produced by
yeah.
CG. Shout out to CG.
Yes, sir.
What was the energy like putting the album together?
Definitely. So I do a lot of recording, you know what I mean, on my own. I was listening to the West Side Gun Flyest Nigga in Charge album. I think
Okay.
it was like a earlier drop that he ended up uploading on Apple Music. And when I heard the beat from that album, I ended up reaching out. I pretty much put a post on like, yo, who can redo this beat?
Hmm.
And CG reached out to me, you know what I mean, immediately. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I just put that joint together. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And Conway the Machine used to go by Cannon back in the day, so that's why I named it OA Cannon. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I quoted one of his lines in the beginning. He
Yeah.
said, "Phil Booth's Carhartt Brown consider 4 pounds." You know what I mean? So that's what inspired the joint. You know what I mean? And I just went from there.
Okay, so 08 Cannon to give a
Yeah,
shout out to WSG. So
right,
that goes in line with a couple other songs you did, like 97 Nas and stuff like that.
right,
What
definitely.
is the thinking behind those titles? Are they just shout outs to you being a fan of those artists, or is it something else?
Right. So it's a mix. So you know what I mean? Everybody know Griselda's from Buffalo. I'm from Buffalo as well. So Benny the Butcher dropped a joint called 97 Hove. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I flipped it with the 97 Nas
yeah.
due to the comparison. A lot of people, say that the voice tone, it sounds like Nas when people hear me rap. So I utilized that, you know what I mean,
Okay.
to do the flip as well. So I got the 97 Nas and then the 23 Esco joint. You know what I mean? So those were all flips from the 97 Nas, you know what I mean, the 97 Hove and so on and so forth.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So,
Yeah.
was there a lot of stress trying to put the album together with so many moving parts, so many features, so many producers, or was it pretty copacetic most of the time?
No, it was straightforward because typically what I do is I organize everything first. You know what I mean? So I'll put everything in a note. So I'll start with the album cover. You know what I mean? I'll write down all my skit ideas and you know what I mean? I'll put all of the songs all on one note. That way I have everything in one place. And then from there I just brainstorm the ideas from there. So nothing is really difficult to me in regards to like the process. You know what I mean? That's the best part really. Putting
Hmm.
everything together. So yeah, it wasn't difficult on my end at all.
All right, that's cool, man. I also want to talk about another track on the album, track 10, Waiting. And in
Wait, yep.
particular, the guy who features on the track, Akil
Yes,
Ali.
sir. My
You've done
brother, yes,
quite a bit
sir.
of work with him. How did you
Yes,
two
sir.
guys first connect?
Definitely. So, I want to say it was about a year or so ago. I kept hearing his name. You know what I mean? A few different producers were mentioning him and myself to each other, saying, "Yo, y'all should work." I think at the time he was signed with Lord Mob. So I believe I added him on Facebook, and then from there he reached out to me. He's like, "Yo, we should make some music." So he sent me some tracks. He sent me a few instrumentals. And by the time you know it, we had about 2 or 3 records. And then he was like, "Yo, we should just do an album," which is the album that we dropped titled Dusty Souls. And now at this point we joined forces together as a collective. So we go by Dusty Souls, me and my boy Kill Ali. So yeah, that's how we initially connected. Just people referring us to each other and shit. You know what I mean? And then from there we just came together and started just making music.
Yeah, I like that Dusty Souls as well. I'll check that out. Is there something that you feel a different sort of energy or a different sort of lane that he brings out of you and that you bring out of him? What do you think it is that makes you two work so well together?
Definitely, man. Just his way of thinking. You know what I mean? He's definitely a person with a lot of knowledge. You know what I mean? So I definitely feed off of that knowledge. You know what I mean? He's been through a lot of things that I've been through as well. You know what I mean? To where we can relate, and we just really keep each other motivated. You know what I mean? We help each other out. You know what I mean? We help each other with shows, anything that's really needed. You know what I mean? We're the team. You know what I mean? Me and my boys. So yeah, I mean, we just feed off each other's energy at the end of the day.
All right. Yeah. Cool, man. So, as you mentioned earlier, you are from Buffalo, New York. And like you said, Buffalo is, under a spotlight because of primarily Griselda. Do you think that their success and the spotlight that they've put on Buffalo, do you think that helps or hinders your progression? Or do you kind of feel separate from it?
So, I'm the opposite artist, you know what I'm saying? So basically what I do when people hear Buffalo, they automatically assume that I have the same sound as Griselda.
Yeah.
But I'm more conscious, so you know what I mean? So that's what really separates me. I don't feel like it hinders me at all because everybody has their own fate and success.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean, I'm going where I'm going regardless. But it definitely helps as well because you know what I mean? If you said I'm from Buffalo 5-6 years ago or 5-10 years ago, nobody really had anything to resonate that to. You know what I mean? So they allow you know what I mean, people or an artist from Buffalo to actually give people a chance to listen to us because of their influence.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it didn't really mean anything. I mean, I didn't know you were from Buffalo until you agreed to the interview, and I did a bit of background on you. So, I mean, that's the reason why I wanted to ask the question, because when I did the background, it said you're from Buffalo. I thought I'd throw that question in there, but I mean, I was a fan of yours before I knew where you were from, anyway. So, what do you feel about? Because I know that Buffalo's kind of separate, even though it's obviously part of New York, it's kind of separate from New York. But what do you feel about the New York? What do you feel about the New York sound in terms of, other areas of the country claiming the crown? You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. What do you think in terms of New York in relation to the West Coast, in relation to Atlanta and the rest of the South, and anyone from the Midwest or anything like that?
I just feel like it depends on who you're listening to. A lot of the New York artists that are spotlighted are more so from an industry standpoint. You know what I mean? They don't really care too much about buyers. I'm sure there's a lot of people that do have buyers from New York. You know what I mean? But right now, what's being spotlighted is, you know what I mean, the drill music and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So, in my personal opinion, you know what I mean? I know people directly from New York City that's still keeping that sound alive.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, in regards to like what's what's actually being put out and being shined on is a little bit different. That's why I respect Griselda so much, because they stuck to that sound without having to compromise. You know what I mean, what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to go back a little further. Where does your creativity begin? How did you get into writing raps, and when did you get to that point where it's like, I can do this for myself?
For sure. So my influence is heavily from my mom. My mom and her sisters, they were in a singing group. So most of my family background is singing. You know what I mean? So I started off as a vocalist originally till about probably 13. You know what I mean? My voice started to change, it started getting deeper. So at that point, I just didn't feel like it was cool to sing no more. So, you know what I mean? I ended up going through, you know what I mean? Going through regular life, you know what I mean? As a teenager, growing up black male, and I was angry. So a lot of the stuff that I wrote was, out of anger to try to, basically, find an outlet. So I started writing raps out of anger. And then from there, you know what I mean? I began to develop my sound. So that's pretty much how it originally started.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And another thing, how did you come up with your name, and did you have any names before you settled on Y.N.X. 76?
For sure.
716.
So I had my first rap name ever was D-Nice, and then I went into Young Nice, which is where the Y-N come from.
Okay.
And then the X I adopted from Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Y.N.X stands for.
Okay. All right. And where did hip hop start for you originally? Did you kind of find it on your own, or was it someone else's kind of influence?
Yeah, so my dad, he listened to a lot of 90s music, Outkast, you know what I mean? That was a heavy influence, you know what I mean? He would play that Wu-Tang. But again, like I said, I don't really, you know what I mean? I would say that it started from that aspect, but then I began to, just find my own different elements of music that influenced me. But that was the main foundation for it. The Wu-Tangs, the Outkast, you know what I mean? That really helped me develop my sound. I listened to a lot of Biggie growing up, you know what I mean, when it was still on tape. So, you know what I mean, I just felt like, it was just part of my plan. You know what I mean? Of course, I listened to a lot of Nas, you know what I mean, and just to really hone on my sound. But yeah, that's really where it originated from.
Okay, cool. And what do you do outside of music? Have you got any other business avenues that you're pursuing, or a hobby that you're trying to turn to a business or something like that?
Sure. Yeah, so I do all my own merchandise. So,
okay.
You know what I mean? The Y.N.X. merch. I record, engineer my own stuff. I make beats as well. My next album, actually, which is like a part 2 of Messages and Money, it's going to be called Messages in Time. I'm fully producing that album. So basically, how those correlate is time is money. You know what I'm saying? So Messages in Time is going to be the next installment of that album. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do outside of like the recording aspect, because you have, as an independent artist, you have to have some type of knowledge of all of those different things to be able to be successful.
Yeah, different revenue streams. I know what you're saying.
Exactly.
So my next question is, what do you have coming up? But you just said you got a album you're working on, Messages in Time. The single Revenge of Shinobi is out. It's dope. So when do we expect that album roughly?
So yeah, I was thinking Christmas, because time is the gift. However, I'm still trying to determine when I want to drop it. I got all of the skits and everything together now. So right now I'm just sequencing the album. Everything is done. So I would say either late November or late December. It's definitely coming out this year, though.
All right, that is cool. I will look out for that. Okay, it's been great to talk to you. Let people know where they can find you, where they can find your music, where they can find your merch, all that kind of stuff.
For sure. So yeah, man, it's Y.N.X. representing Buffalo, New York. You can follow me on Instagram at Y.N.X.716. Twitter, Y.N.X.716. I'm also streaming on all platforms under Y.N.X.716. I have new merch that just dropped. You can find that at www.ynx716.com.
That's cool. Okay, so thanks again for speaking to me on your holiday. I wish you all the best, and I will hopefully speak to you again soon. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.